Hello and welcome to Sharing Needles with Friends.
Hey.
We are sponsored by Vinyl Me Please, which is a Record of the Month club. You can go to vinylmeplease.com and get a subscription started for as low as
$23 a month. Well, for $23 a month, what do you get? That's the thing.
Well, you get an exclusive pressing of a fantastic record that comes with a cocktail recipe.
Yes.
And a 12x12 art print, Gene.
Score.
Yeah.
Music, art, booze.
Exactly.
So all of the things at once.
The three best things in life.
The trifecta.
It is.
Yeah.
It is the trifecta.
Music, art, booze.
Yeah.
There it is.
I agree with you.
As low as $23 a month, you can get started on the best damn vinyl club there is in the world, and also get access to their member store,
Which is incredible.
which is something you will want to peruse each month.
Nice word.
For night, thank you.
You're welcome.
Which, for example, I haven't gotten on there yet, but I think yesterday or the day before when the store opened again this time, the new Strand of Oaks is available.
Okay.
They've got a variant,
I need to
and
get that.
I want that record because I like the last Strand of Oaks. Haven't heard the new one,
Yeah.
but I trust that if Vinyl Me Please has it, probably going to be all right.
You're probably right about that.
I know.
We're also sponsored by Nothing Too Fancy, which is a local shop here in Knoxville, Tennessee that sells really cool things. They sell stuff done by local and regional artists. They have great shirts, great everything.
All of the things.
All the things they have.
Sharing News with Friends
great.
mugs.
They do. They
Yeah.
do have those.
You can get those. Those
I
are
know.
things that
I
exist.
need a whole set. I've got one.
Yeah.
I need enough
Like a
for
family
for
set?
a dinner party.
That's true.
If I'll
I need to have a solid 8 so I
Yeah.
can use them for wine
exactly.
glasses.
Goblets.
Yep.
We
Sharing News with Friends goblets.
need those.
We do. That's a good idea.
We should have goblets.
And we can even make them with like Game of Thrones themed like houses, so like
Oh yeah.
the priest house, and it would have its own like really cool logo.
Yeah, and then we'd have the Jones house, which would just be
Less
like
cool.
the most plain house. It's like a rancher. It's
No, like
I know what
the
you,
family
I know
crest.
exactly what you mean.
Okay.
Gene. I'm
You were
just saying
just-
there's lots of Joneses in the world, and I'm one of them.
it's true. I think that I read something once in my life that Jones and Smith are up there in like the top 5 most popular last names.
That's not true.
Smith is definitely. Pretty sure Jones was right there, like number 2.
Lee has to be more.
Think so?
You would think. I would think.
You would.
You might not have to.
No, I personally don't.
If you listen to us on iTunes, go give us some stars and write a review.
Yes.
We would really appreciate that. That helps us get notified and
Notified.
It helps us get noticed in searches more often.
And that.
So we would appreciate it if you would go give maybe a 5-star review.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a 5-star. I'm just throwing
Don't
it
let
out
me
there.
twist
5.
your arm.
I'm not trying to persuade you to give 5 stars, but if there are 5 stars that you can fill up,
And
it
you
just
feel
feels so
compelled.
satisfying to
Right.
click all 5 of them.
That's
to
true.
Get them all yellow.
Well, see, I'm OCD,
Okay.
so I would have to like it would have to be all or nothing. For me.
Yeah, well, I agree.
So-
Don't give us nothing.
Right.
Give us at least 1.
1 star would
Yeah.
be sufficient. But no, if you enjoy it, seriously, it's awesome for us to be able to go onto iTunes and see amazing comments from folks that listen to the
Yeah, I
podcast
love
that enjoy it. That way we know what we're doing wrong by things that are not mentioned,
Yeah.
and what we're doing right if it is
It's a process of elimination.
Exactly. So thank you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Tonight we've got a very exciting episode. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm pretty excited.
Right, pretty excited. We have Nathan Gray and Daniel Smith of Nathan Gray Collective.
We do.
They've got a new record coming out on March 3rd called Until Heaven Takes Us, as well as Nathan's autobiography.
Yeah.
And they're both fantastic. I know this.
You know this.
I know this personally. The world will soon find out.
Gotcha.
So, thank you again to Nathan and Daniel for giving us their time, and put on your seatbelt.
Don't
Strap
don't
in.
Start. Don't say things. Just when you start to say things, sometimes.
When I say things, what? No, let's talk this out. When I say things, what?
let's just get into the interview.
Fine. Here's Nathan Gray and Daniel Smith. Nathan Gray. We are very, very excited to be joined by two fantastic gentlemen tonight on the show. Not just one.
Other than us.
Right. Two other gentlemen tonight. Yeah. We have Mr. Nathan Gray and Daniel Smith of Nathan Gray Collective. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
We're doing good.
Yeah.
Just well, yeah.
Now that we've figured out how to work technology, we're doing
well.
awesome.
You know, technology's difficult sometimes.
It's like a weekly thing for us to fight with technology and actually make a podcast happen. And we've luckily done it for like 3 years and only lost a few episodes over the course of that time. And you know what the feeling is of recording an episode and then realizing you have nothing.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Ooh. You know when you get that perfect vocal take, right? And then Daniel's like, "Oh, I wasn't recording. Did you want me to hit record?" That's
yeah. Either that or it's I think I nailed it, and then Dan's just looking at me like, "No, you didn't."
Let's start that again.
Do you know what notes are?
Right.
Scales.
Thank
you know?
God for auto-tune, man.
That's
Seriously.
true. That's very true. So shit, guys. Okay, a new record in 13 days.
11.
11 days.
Jesus. 11 days.
Get it right.
Where's
the
time
days.
gone?
Jeez.
I know,
Where has the
seriously.
time gone?
It doesn't feel. It feels
We
like
know it down to the hour. It's the most stressful, horrible thing in the world.
That's true. I mean, but it's been an experience, I would imagine. So let's start there. Let's start at the beginning of this. So there is a book and a record, both titled "Until the Darkness Takes Us," that are both going to blow people's minds. But more importantly,
fair enough.
you've put a lot of time and effort into crafting these things. Let's start with the beginning of the record. So you've got an EP, which was fantastic, and I think we talked about this when we had you on, Nathan. Like, God, what was that? Like,
how long ago was that?
Almost 2 years.
It was a while ago. Yeah. It was a while ago.
And
2 years ago, I guess.
Yeah. Had to have been.
Man, that's so weird.
Yeah,
time does fly. So let's just start with that. How did you and Daniel come to bring your forces together?
Ooh.
Yeah, origin story time.
And the origin story. Okay, all right. So there's a radioactive spider.
Okay.
And Dan's a mutant.
Gotcha.
So
everything
when
makes
it all
way more
first
sense
came
now.
together. Oh yeah, right. So done. There you go. There's the story. When it first came together, it was bizarre, and honestly, we didn't know if it was going to work. I know that I was really intent on doing a solo project of some sort, and I had been for years, and then finally I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And but I wanted to figure out how to do it differently, because the Tim Barry, Chuck Reagan thing's been done.
Right. Yeah.
And I only know 3 chords. So, it drives Dan insane. I come in with like 5 Green Day songs, and he has to translate them into something cool. So it's
for some reason, I feel like you can probably play guitar better than that, but
not by much though.
Okay.
I'll be honest. It's all power chords. So I'm training myself past that, but we'll see what happens. I don't need to with Dan around, let's be honest.
Right.
So it's like, here, just make this sound cool. All right. So I came to Dan and I was like, trying to figure out how I was going to do this. Because at first it was just Dan was going to like help me translate what I was doing. And
I mean, to be honest, when Nathan first approached me with it, I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll help you with that, no problem. Thinking, I'm gonna just add in some drums and a little bit of bass, and then he's gonna hand out the CDs at Christmas to his family.
Right.
Yeah, stocking stuffers.
Right.
Exactly. Gotcha.
Right, stocking stuffers. And so it didn't turn out that way, but he got into some of the songs I was doing, and just brought a different kind of feel to them. And funny enough, like when I came into it, I was like, I was trying to find that different take on it. Like I said, I didn't want to be Tim Barry, Chuck Reagan, whatever again. It's been done, and it's been done well, and it's also been done very poorly by others.
Yes,
so,
it has been done poorly equally as much.
Yes, so exactly. So it's time to move on. It's time to do something new.
Yeah.
So I was looking more into the vein of sort of neo folk, dark folk type of stuff. Death in June, Coil, different type of things like that. The problem with that music is that although I like it, it is fucking boring.
I remember I asked Nathan, I was like, hey, can you maybe just compile like a playlist for me of influences so I can just kind of wrap my head around where we're going with this? Yeah. And man, there were parts in that playlist where I just wanted to pull my eyeballs out. Like, I can't.
It's just the same note for an hour washed in reverb.
I'm just drone, like, Daniel. It's okay. Yeah. Right. It's okay to drone.
This is going to be the easiest project I've ever worked on. All I have to do is just play 2 guitar chords for 8 minutes and then turn the reverb to 11 and I'm good. Like,
we're done. Yeah.
In theory, it does sound easy.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, Dan talked me out of that, and the EP was born. You know, I think we came in with that. It was like 2. How many songs were on that? 4.
4
originally.
Yeah.
So it was 2 songs that I had written, 2 songs Dan had written that we had like compiled together and worked on together. So it was
a learning experience as you made the EP.
Corson and Tomorrow were mine.
Right.
And those were Wolves and Baptismal were yours.
Yeah, Corson and Tomorrow were I think 2 of the first 3 songs that you had given me.
Yeah.
I know there was another one in there.
There were other ones that didn't work. Yeah. Dan just went, no.
That's always the case. You come with a bunch of material. I mean, just like with anything I've ever done, or Derek and I's band, you start with like so much stuff, and then once you start recording it, you realize, nope, we didn't have nearly as much like solid stuff as we thought.
We've gotten way better since we wrote this song.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's just certain songs, that Nathan would bring me. It's like instantly, sometimes I can hear exactly where they need to go and what I want to do with them. Like Tomorrow was that. As soon as Nathan sent me this dirty, gritty, phone recording of that one, the first time I listened to it, I instantly heard those bells that kind of opened the song with it, and everything just got built off of there.
Yeah.
But other ones, it's like I'll try and just be like, I got nothing. I got nothing on this one. It's just
and so we throw those out. Yeah.
It's just not working. Like maybe we'll revisit it. But so Nathan wrote those 2, and I kind of hashed those out. And then at some point, once we started working on those, and we both kind of realized that this was going to be more than just like a pet project, and we were really getting somewhere with this. I remember Nathan sending me a text that was just like, you know what, fuck it, let's both write some shit and let's both do this together as a team. And at that point I was like, cool, I can do that.
Yeah.
So I definitely remember sitting in my studio, and I've been writing music since I was a kid, and it was the first time where I had to try to write, in a sense, somebody else's music.
Yeah.
Like it was still going to have my influence, but it wasn't really my music. It was at that point Nathan's music, and so I knew kind of what we were doing, but it was the first time where I sat in my studio and looked around and went, what the hell am I going to write?
Where do you start with writing a song?
Yeah, I just started messing with sounds and everything, and I remember playing around through a bunch of patches on one of my keys, and came across that patch that opens Baptismal Rites.
Oh, nice.
And came up with that chord progression, and then just kind of built that whole song out from there, minus vocals, and just sent it to Nathan and went, let me know if I'm on the right path here or not. If I'm not, I'll go back to the drawing board.
Right.
And I mean, he was blown away by it.
Yeah, I was stoked on it. Yeah.
And at that point, that was kind of the beginning, really. I feel like that song was the beginning, just because we knew we were locked in.
You wrote the most non-boring dark folk song ever, which is Wolves.
Oh,
like,
dude,
that
seriously.
is 2 chords on an acoustic.
Oddly enough, that's going from that influence playlist. That's kind of where that song started. Was me trying to figure out how to bring that that dark folk sound in, but not have it be boring.
Right. No, dude, that like Wolves is still
not have it boring as hell or strangely sketchy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
That song, man, it's extremely catchy, and I mean it's the perfect way to lead off, the EP. And to be honest, like when I first heard that EP, that song has stuck with me since. And so when Nathan mentioned a full-length record, I was like, well, how are you going to top a first track like Wolves? How is that going to happen again? And then we come to the beginning of Until the Darkness Takes Us.
So we wrote Heathen Blood.
And and we've got Heathen Blood, which again has this chorus that just like
it's super
for days
anthematic. It's like raise your fist up in the air kind of song.
Yeah. So
it's funny because going into that album, we finally found where we were.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, this is what we're supposed to sound like.
Right.
Okay. This makes more sense now.
So was that the starting point actually for the record, or did that just end up being the song that felt the best for the beginning of the record?
I don't know if it was the first thing we wrote, but it was definitely when we wrote it, it was definitely that's the first song.
Yeah. It was because we even started writing new material as we started playing out some of the other ones. So anyone that's seen us live has heard Remains, has heard Anthemic Hearts, has heard Memento Mori. Those three songs we wrote kind of as an afterthought of the EP and just kind of were helping to shape our direction for what we knew ultimately would become our first full length. But Heathen Blood was probably right in the middle of the writing process. Oddly enough, funny story for that song, it was pure dumb luck that song even came to be. I bought my first house in 2015 where my now permanent studio is set up. But in the meantime, while I was doing all the construction for the studio, we set up kind of a temporary studio in this little extra middle room I had. And as I was setting all that up and hooking up all the cabling and everything, I was just, once I got it done, I was running through just testing all the equipment to make sure everything was hooked up correctly. And when I went to test that keyboard with that piano patch, I just banged out the bing, 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 just purely testing the machine. But for some reason, it was like I just randomly hit those three notes, and as any artist knows, inspiration comes in the weirdest ways. And rather than just testing my studio and going to bed or something, I then sat there for the next 3 hours and wrote Heathen Blood.
Because he's a maniac, right?
Man, that's awesome.
So, divine intervention.
Yeah, that song came out. It was pure dumb luck of me just happened to hit those three chords in a test, and then just the whole song erupted out of that. And, I mean, it went through some edits and stuff. And,
sure.
Just to kind of tailor it, but yeah, as soon as that one was done, we knew that was how we were opening the album.
It was without a doubt.
Yeah, that seriously, the chorus every single time it hits equally as big, which is hard to do. Usually when you hear a big first chorus, you kind of know what to expect for the rest of the song.
Yeah.
But
right.
This kind of like has somehow, and this is something, Dan, that I think you do with production, which I'm not exactly sure what kind of witchcraft you do with your production, but like there's something always that is unheard that you hear later and then say, oh shit, I've never noticed that.
Right.
Weird. Like, that song
Dan does that kind of weird shit all the time. I was like, what the fuck just happened in my right ear?
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, I mean, you're not the first nor the last to say that, and I would be lying if I said it was coincidental, because it's not. It's,
right.
I mean, the artists that I grew up on and have been
give us some of your background, because we know Nathan comes from Boysetsfire.
You know me.
Am Heresy.
I mean,
Nathan, go grab a drink, buddy. We're just gonna we're gonna hang out with Daniel for a few minutes and
bro down, kick it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pure '80s kid, man. I was born in 1980, so I grew up in it, and so I had. Going back a little further, my parents were musicians. So my parents were playing in top 40 bands when I was in the womb, literally.
Oh,
so
nice.
Like I grew up surrounded by music from the day I was born. And but my parents always played, they're into classic rock. So I grew up listening to, The Who and the Beatles and, all of that great stuff from that time period. Which, I mean, there's a lot of really epic, thorough albums out there. The Who's Tommy, Pink Floyd, The Wall, all that stuff. I mean, I just ate all that up. Ziggy Stardust. I mean, all of that stuff was ingrained in my childhood. But at the same time, I was growing up in the 80s, so I had Depeche Mode, I had Genesis, Peter Gabriel, all of that stuff influencing me as well. So, I kind of found parts of both that really just landed with me.
Mhm.
And then, as I continued to grow up, I hit my Metallica phase and my
Yep.
Nirvana phase, and so the rock and roll kind of crept in there as well. And then I would say the biggest moment for my life was the discovery of Nine Inch Nails, probably around when I was 12, 13 years old.
Yep.
I I remember watching the Wish video on MTV.
Oh God.
So good.
Yeah, I think I was
so good.
I guess I was probably I guess it was probably 12 or 13 in there, but I remember sitting on the couch with my dad and flipping through the channels, and that came on, and he stopped at it. Neither one of us said anything. We just sat there and watched it, and in my head, like, it was this giant awakening of awesomeness for me. It was like, this is it. This is what I've been searching for my whole life. And I remember the video ended, and my dad just goes, "What a pile of shit," and changes the channel.
But that was my world.
Oh my God.
Little did he know his entire son's life had just changed in that 5 minutes.
Right.
Let's take a little side note right there, and remember that Pretty Hate Machine came out in fucking 89.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh, fuck
Oh,
off.
I know.
And
know.
that record is like
you for
it's,
saying that.
It's well, I mean, come on, that record. I always forget it.
Yeah.
But that record is
Like,
so goddamn flawless.
Oh, it's
amazing.
Gold. It's
And-
fucking gold. It's amazing.
And you think of what else was happening in '89,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, like,
Right.
I can't believe that came out in the 80s.
it's crazy.
oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to me now,
actually-
I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I remember reading an article at some point that was talking about that. and the
Everybody's
fact
ripping
that-
it off now,
Well,
actually.
Yep.
Right, but it was talking about
Them
the
in
fact
Ministry.
that
Yeah.
that album came out, I think, right around 2 or 3 months after Nirvana's Nevermind did.
Yeah.
And they were saying that if those albums had been released in reverse, that the entire musical landscape could have been changed.
Oh,
that
guaranteed.
Nine Inch
Shit,
Nails would
man.
have been the
Would have been the Nirvana, right?
instead.
Yeah.
So, interesting thought.
Mhm.
That would have been a
Deep
way
thoughts.
cooler parallel
Daniel
universe
Smith.
that I would be willing to like travel down. I would have taken that parallel
Oh,
universe to
without
see
a
what
doubt.
happens.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay, so anyway, did you play in bands like while you were in high school and whatnot prior, or did you just always make music and just kind of do your own thing musically?
It's weird. For as involved in music as I've been, and as long as I've
lonely
been at it,
industrial kid.
yeah, I'm the lonely black sheep industrial
In
kid.
a
but
group of hardcore friends.
it was a kind of like, I played in a bunch of like punk and grunge bands and stuff through school, because that's what was going on at the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then having that Nine Inch Nails kind of 80s influence, I remember my mom bought this really high-end keyboard when I was in high school, and she might as well have just bought it for me, because that's all I did.
Yeah.
For hours after I got home from school was pretty much learning how to sequence and program MIDI and
Nice.
use synthesis and stuff like that. I mean, it was all I just ate it up. And at that point, that's kind of when I realized I don't even need a band. This thing can
Yep,
do
that's true.
everything. So,
I mean, you took the Trent Reznor, approach of like, my machines are my friends, and we
Right.
will make great things.
yeah.
This
it
keyboard
was
can't
like,
tell me my song sucks.
Exactly. Like, I'm really tired of arguing with these guys over shit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
Which is why I'm
Good
doing
stuff.
this now.
Exactly. That all makes sense.
Yeah.
But,
I'm fine with arguing with just one person.
Yeah, that's true.
two
It's
is good. Three
It's
is
when it's
crap,
like
but-
3 or 4 on 1 that it starts to be like, okay,
Exactly.
fuck this collusion
Yeah, no.
bullshit.
Yeah.
What's
Right.
going on?
No, it's what is it? Fewer moving parts, fewer broken pieces.
There we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of made a bunch of my own music that never really, went anywhere. It got a little bit of online notoriety here and there, collaborated with a couple of people in the scene here and there. But I moved a lot after high school. I went to a couple different colleges and then moved to Florida a couple times, moved to North Carolina once. So I never really settled somewhere long enough to get anything going, but I kept up on the production side of things, the tech side of things, helped a lot of other people make some music and everything. So, I just kind of became that man behind the green curtain.
That's awesome.
For quite some time, up until this point. And it's funny. It's like one of those careful what you wish for things. I'd always dreamed of being. Yeah. Well, it's I'd always dreamed of being a rock star since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Since that was my whole life. And then it's like as soon as I crossed that 30 line, I went, you know what?
Yeah.
Just not gonna happen for me.
And then knock, knock, knock.
Right. And then Nathan goes, "Hey, you want to make some music?"
Right.
And here I am.
Man. I mean, but
ridiculous.
that's a good way to. I mean, because obviously Nathan's been around it for a while, so he's a guy that you can trust with. Like, okay, well, this isn't going to be like awful. I'll hear you out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
To be at the point you were at,
I don't know.
it wasn't just like
I know
a
that
guy.
your vocals won't completely suck.
Right, exactly. It's like he's got a record of work that you could go back and listen to without just saying, I don't know about this shady Nathan character. I don't know.
Well, I'm pretty shady, but it's more like, well, at least he brings some fans along with him.
That's exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. As long as, that's always a plus. Okay, so then if you can't...
And they obviously haven't realized how untalented I am yet. So.
See, okay, well, we're going to get to that. So we're going to expose all of it.
Yeah.
All the dirty bits. So if you play, as you said earlier, power chords, what is the actual, process of songwriting, for this record? How in general did you get things done? Was it just like an idea bouncing back and forth, like you would record things, send it to Daniel, he would make something happen out of that?
It's so weird because it's a bunch of different sort of ways.
Yeah, there was no
method
at all. Like it was sort of insanity, and at some point we discovered our hive mind, which was brilliant. You know what I mean? Like it was just brilliant because it was like the song Lucius Natore was practically a Queens of the Stone Age song when we wrote it.
It really, I'm trying to even remember how that song started.
You know it now, and when it started, it seriously, it sounded like it could have been
it was
on a
really,
Queens of the Stone Age album.
It was really staccato.
Yeah.
Like bam, 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 and I mean it was cool, but both of us looked at each other and were just like, there's something here, but this just isn't it.
This isn't it, but there's something within.
We tried it.
Yeah. And no disrespect to Queens of the Stone Age, because I think they are a phenomenally underrated band.
Yeah, but it's not us.
We are not Queens of the Stone Age.
No. And it's funny because there's so many songs that did that on this album. Hell, At War almost didn't make it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's a shame.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
At War's one of my favorites.
Thank you.
So At War is probably the most me song on the record. I would say when I write my own stuff, that's kind of what it's like. So I wrote that one and sent it to Nathan. I'm like, look, I love this song. I'm like,
you're gonna scream again. Okay, you remember that, right?
It's like,
right.
It's like if you don't like it, then you're not having it, because I'm gonna keep it.
And I'm taking it back if you don't like it.
Right.
And it was the chorus. Just we really couldn't agree on it, and we almost just trashed it.
Yeah.
And then
oh my God.
Somehow. I know.
Yeah.
Trust me,
it was crazy because now, once it clicked, we were like, fuck, this song is great.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be honest, I was not interested in screaming anymore.
Right.
Number one.
As a style choice, or because it sucks on the throat? Because Derek and I have both done it.
All of it. Seriously, all of it. I was just done with it.
Yeah.
And I think that had a lot to do with Am Heresy, because I just got... And even with Boy Sets Fire, it was just too many songs.
Right.
1 to 3 songs, sure. You know, 4 to 6 or all of the whole fucking album being screaming. It's just not my thing. I like doing it sometimes.
Yeah.
It gets out aggression. It sounds really cool. But it's really not me. I'm a singer.
Yeah.
You know? So, trying to figure, and I swear, probably Dan was losing his goddamn mind how many times I tried to not scream on that song. How about this? No,
you had other arrangements instead of
Well, how about
this?
this? No, that's
just do
boring as
falsetto
fuck.
here,
Please
Dan.
don't do that. Right.
He was trying real hard
to Freddie Mercury
so
not
hard.
scream. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going, do you hear the music?
Right.
You hear that
You
heavy
do
guitar?
what the music tells you to do. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do.
So-
Sometimes you really have to kind of follow along with what you've already
absolutely
created.
do.
Some great music is created by fighting against what you want to do, but a lot of great music is made by just doing what the music's begging you to do.
Flow with it. And it came out great.
I think the probably the craziest example on the album would be Skin, though.
Yeah,
Skin,
without a doubt.
Which is the danciest.
I was about to bring that song up.
We've written.
Yeah.
Which we love. But believe it or not, that
you should
song,
hear where that came from.
That song started with Nathan playing really slow, drony power chords on the guitar.
Huh.
Like you would think that song was one that I wrote, but it's not.
Yeah. Now, here's what's crazy about that too is that like that song started, it was a very slow, drony song that I had written called Patience Please. And it's depressing as fuck. Like it's an awful shoot yourself in the fucking face song.
Yeah.
Which then Chad from Boys Sets Fire and I had like tried to pick it up a little bit, and it turned into this weird like rock power ballad.
It was so Creed. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. It was just like it's still just like no. And I brought it to Dan, and he turned it into that, and it was like there it is.
Yeah, that was
like,
another one that almost got trashed because Nathan just kept playing it and playing it. I'm like, dude, all I can hear is putting some ambience behind it with you singing. I was like,
someone
it's just,
killing themselves.
Yeah, I was like, it's going to be another Wayward Ghost.
Yeah.
Again, not that that's a bad song, but I just we didn't want to do it again.
Right.
And and then I don't know why, but something clicked that I looked at Nathan. I was like, are you okay with me speeding this up a lot? And he was like, yeah, sure. I'm like, give me 20 minutes, and I just kind of whipped the beat and everything together.
Shit.
I was like, what do you, am I going in the right direction? Can we do this or not?
Nathan, we're going to take it to 160 BPM. We're going to see what happens.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of great songs on this album started with Dan going, are you okay with me really doing something to this? And me going, fuck yeah, dude, do it. And then he does it, and it's like, there it is. That's what we were missing.
Exactly.
There we go.
I think Skin might be the one that we were listening to, and I was like, damn, Gene, this one, I feel like a Depeche Mode vibe going on right here.
Which is so ironic because I'm pretty sure on first listen, I text you that exact same thing, Nathan. Holy shit, this is like Depeche Mode. And that, I mean, bravo on that because, I mean, I'm a huge Depeche Mode fan, but it's all over this record. And it's funny because we were just talking about Screaming, and we were just talking about the song At War, which is very, very, very different than a lot of the tracks on this record. But there is a lot. I mean,
it's like a Ministry song in the middle of all that.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah,
I can totally hear your 80s, Nine Inch Nails, industrial, and then like Depeche Mode influence on this record. But at the same time, you've got songs like Anthematic Hearts and Damascus, where you still have the singer-songwriter feel.
And that's where I come in.
Exactly.
Right?
I was going to say, and somehow you've tightrope balanced those two styles, which should not go together, really. And then you throw metal in with the songwriter and
There's a ton of songs on this album that should not be on the same goddamn album. Or in the same damn band.
Right. And I mean...
But they're very cohesive, though. They all fit in together really well. And at times, it feels like it's like a rock opera or something. Like the whole thing is like one big theatrical
And there you go, right.
And it's funny you should say that because that's actually what saved the album to become what it is. Because we're probably about halfway through, and I pulled the brakes on the album with Nathan because we were shooting for this way earlier deadline on this thing initially, and I was just like, look, dude, I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I like every song that we've written so far, but they don't make sense together right now. I'm like, I don't know what record we're making. We've got these super electronic industrial tracks, and then we've got these really singer-songwriter tracks, and I was just like, we need to figure out what direction we're going if we're going to finish this, and that's actually where we kind of together came up with the storyline, if you will, for the album. That as soon as we kind of had that in place, and I remember asking Nathan that, like, what message are we trying to get across with each of these tracks? Where do they fit in the progression? And once we had an outline of the story, then it was really just seeing where each song fit in that storyline that we had so far, and then going, okay, what do we still have in the story to make? And and that really helped guide us and glue it all together.
Well, that totally makes sense. And Nathan, you're a big fan of musicals to begin with, correct? Like,
without a doubt. Yeah, absolutely.
And that was something
I grew up on it. Yeah.
See that? I mean, that comes through in a tremendous way on this record. Derek and I were talking about that when we were listening to it before we even talked to you guys tonight, about how much of a theatrical feel the record has.
Right.
I mean, there are moments, that, I mean, I don't even know how to explain it other than saying the word theatrical, but you'll bring it down, and it's really soft, really pretty, just like single note piano and vocals, and then the next thing you know, it's just this massive rise.
The word is dynamics, Gene.
Oh, dynamics.
And I think
That's the word you're looking for.
dynamics, and there's two things to that I think I think neither Dan nor I are interested in writing a standard rock album.
Yeah.
Right.
We're interested in writing a soundtrack.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not only that, but Dan, it's funny because I don't remember dynamics for a very long time. No, seriously, like rock music and shit like that has not had dynamics, like real dynamics. Like everything's turned up so fucking high that it's screaming at you the whole time. There's no that you remember like old albums in the 80s and 70s where there were parts where like if you didn't have it turned up enough, you wouldn't hear it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we did with this album. And what was awesome about having Dan do this, because he remembers that and was able to put that into this album, where like that part in Skin.
I was going to say, so like
down,
at the end,
if you're not blasting that in your car, you're not going to even hear that part.
Right.
You're going to be like, shit, the song stopped.
But you're going to turn it up, and then it's going to scare the shit
yeah.
out of
And
you
that's
when it comes
the
back
great
in.
part. Yeah, and then when it busts back in. Yeah. But that's what I loved about music back then.
Yeah.
Not so much the shitty recording quality, but that whole, there were actual dynamics. It wasn't made up dynamics.
Exactly.
It wasn't just like killing you with sound the whole way through.
Right.
There were actually like drops and dips and rises and and that's been an amazing thing. It's probably the only time you hear it is in musicals.
Oh yeah,
and things
absolutely.
of that nature.
These days,
so
yeah.
So
well, I mean, that's the thing, like with modern music, and Derek and I have talked about this on the podcast many times before. It seems like a lot of times albums get so compressed.
Oh,
that,
totally.
Like that compression, I mean, don't get me wrong. As someone who does recording, I know how important compression is, but you can overuse it really fucking quick.
Oh, it's been done.
Oh, yeah.
And there have been so many records that you hear that, like, regardless of whether it's supposed to be a quote unquote soft part or heavy part, the whole record
Doesn't
just
matter.
goes even.
Right.
You feel like in your actual body, you feel nothing. You're listening to it, and you just feel a straight line. Whereas, with your record, and there's actually it's like emotion coming through in just the sonic. I don't.
And there's separation to it too.
Yeah.
Like everything has its individuality in the recording.
Oh,
whereas
totally.
Right.
a lot of modern albums just
and we definitely
just
fought
hitting you
for
right in
that
the
tooth
face.
and nail to make that happen. Yes.
Well, I mean, I can definitely tell that, Daniel, you spend some time with headphones on, because there's a lot of left and right panning, that I feel like a lot of records don't get these days. Like, there are some records that you can put on, headphones, and you get like an entire otherworldly experience. And there are some records that just feel like you're listening to something in mono.
Well, I mean, if you're going for just strictly radio play, then
That's
no
true.
one's probably listening to it on their headphones
Right.
anyways,
Well, and
most
I
of the
think
time.
that's true.
That's kind of where us doing a self-release is more beneficial.
Mhm.
I mean, I've never been a fan of the single.
Right.
Right.
My favorite artists and favorite records are just that. They're records.
Yeah.
They're start to finish. I put it on track one, hit play, and never hit the pause button. Never
Right.
skip the
Exactly.
track,
No filler, no
and
bullshit.
Go from front to back. And those are the albums that have stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the random couple good songs while I skip through the rest.
Exactly.
On some. And so I've always written music like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if it wasn't a complete work from start to finish, it wasn't worth my time.
Right.
And
why do bands waste their time with that shit anyway?
right.
Here, let's throw some fucking filler in the mix just to do it. Why even write the song?
Exactly.
Just do an EP.
Just make an EP. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we've got 8 songs, guys. We need like 2 to 3 more. Okay, throw this shit. No, that
Right.
is something that happened a lot. I feel like that happened a lot in the 90s and early
totally
2000s.
90s.
When you think of bands like fucking Smash Mouth and Sugar Ray and that
Yeah.
whole wave of bands that came out at the same time.
Well,
from
but
singles.
you know what? therein lies your answer. Why do bands do that?
Right.
Because those guys are fucking millionaires.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
of one
Yeah.
song. That's why.
I can talk shit on Smash Mouth all night long, but those guys have way more money than I'm ever going to see. So
I know.
Yeah.
But they get bread thrown at them at their shows.
That's true.
And good for them, but they're not artists.
No,
you know what I mean? I mean, honestly, like, and I don't hate them for it. Like, fuck it. Good. You made your money. Good for you.
Yeah.
But it's not what I want to do. It's not what we want to do.
You got that fucking Shrek money.
Yeah.
Right. Yo, motherfucker, you got that Shrek money.
And you know, once you got that Shrek money, I mean, where do you go from there?
Good. You're good then.
If you're not licensing your songs to, like, you know, animated characters.
I would put a song in Shrek.
Oh, I would too. I mean, I don't.
I'm in.
The
I'm down.
residuals alone.
What are they up to? 4 now or something? If Shrek 4 calls and says we want one of your songs, I'm all about it.
They can have it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Nathan, write a song about an ogre.
Yeah,
real quick.
And a donkey, just like just have it on the back
An
burner.
ogre and a donkey. I'm on it.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it. I got this.
Okay, so you guys were just talking about the way that this blows my fucking mind too, and I'm glad to see this happen the way that it's happened and be able to take this journey with you guys. But the pledge campaign you did, let's talk about how quickly
that was insane.
So what was it? In one day of it being live, I want to say 99%, or did it hit the full 100?
Oh, it was crazy. I was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
I think it was, what was it, 28 hours?
28 hours, to hit goal.
Like that. It was
and then
just
it just
over
went
a day.
Crazy from there. Like it blew me away. I was
I saw that you're like 204% funded or something like that. That is
That's
remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, dude.
That's amazing.
So what's up with vinyl, guys? Huh?
How do you get 200%? It's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
That's true. Yeah, 204%.
Maybe
so
not to you, but it's coming.
Bro.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
For everyone that wants to know why we didn't do vinyl, please do us a favor. Log on to any vinyl reproduction thing and just go ahead and price yourself out double LP and see how much money it is to make that.
We are well aware
because
of
the fact that if you have listened to the album, you will realize that you cannot fit that on one LP.
Right.
Wait, that can't be on a 7-inch? You can't do a 7-inch of the record?
So,
that's not possible.
Fuck you motherfuckers. But we are, but for real, and you heard it here first.
Yeah.
We are doing it. I'm just not giving you the details yet.
Fair.
Oh, that's fair.
Yep.
I'm good with that because I want this on vinyl.
Yeah.
So I'm good with not having details yet, knowing that it is going to happen.
And it will be a double LP, and it'll cost $3 million, and we'll lose our ass.
Totally. Right. But that all comes when you hit 204% of your fucking goal. Come on, let's talk about how awesome that is.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
It's
That's
absolutely
amazing.
great. It's that is honestly like, and I mean that's between like 300 people or something. Like it's not like a huge amount of people.
350,
like
360, something in there.
But that's what shows you who your core audience is, who your base is, who your ride or die.
Yep, exactly.
Group is. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like those are the people that will
take a bullet for
fuck
you.
someone up for not liking your music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That's
those are your true people. And
would you call this a gang,
I love
Nathan?
that. Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. The Nathan Gray Collective Gang.
What you really want.
We're closing in on ICP
What you really
status
want.
here.
What you really want.
Yeah. We're pulling up on like the Juggalos.
Yeah.
Except you have to come up with something, anything better than
Fuck
Juggalos.
it.
Anything, but I'll take anything other than Juggalos.
Bring it.
So.
Bring it. We'll be the next Juggalos. No, it's seriously though, like the fans that have come over to this.
Yeah.
And I'll start this from building that fan base. And the way to build a fan base like that is to not be a piece of shit.
That's the best way to do
and that's just straight up.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how bands don't realize this, that if you don't care about the people who are paying their hard-earned money to feed you dinner,
right,
then you're not going to last very long.
That's true.
And you're not going to, or at least you're not going to be relevant for very long.
Right.
And you're going to be a flash in the pan. Sure, you'll make your money, whatever. But to me, that's not success. Success to me is the crazy people we get. Like, you know what I mean? People who are just so into what we do and so into the fan-based the appreciation that we have.
Yeah.
that they will do anything. You know, they just want to be a part of something.
And that's incredible.
And,
That's great to get an
it's
organic,
great. It's
awesome fan base like that.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. And I feel like it doesn't take much, you know. All it takes is playing a show, getting down off the stage, saying hi to people, signing some autographs, getting to know people on a personal level, letting them talk to you for a little bit. You know, you got so many bands that like they finish their set and they run off the stage and hide and do whatever they do. And I'm not into music for that.
Right.
I'm into music for that relationship. I
the
love
connection you can make with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gets you in some weird situations sometimes, I'll be honest. Like people are crazy. Like there are some fucking nut jobs out there, but at the end of the day, I appreciate them too. I'll be honest. Like it's sort of awesome. Like
even the stalkers
are
awesome.
Into me, you know, and into what we do.
Yeah.
And the great thing is that now bringing that into what Daniel and I do, you know, and they've really latched on, and it's been awesome. It's been great.
Man.
Yeah, and I think just kind of to add to that, you know, in this day and age and the way that the music industry has progressed, you know, music is free now. I mean, you know, bands make CDs and they put out all their stuff, and thank God for vinyl has made a comeback because that actually allows people to buy some stuff.
Right.
Yeah, seriously.
But most of the time, and I'm just as guilty of this as anybody. I mean, I listen to Spotify for most of my music listening at this point. I'm sure many others do too, or they're downloading it for free, and you know, and that's fine. It's I don't have a problem with that on a personal level, because to me it is an art, and I would rather somebody be exposed to it and come back
totally
than to never hear it at all. But I think from a music business standpoint, almost, it's like the one thing that a fan will never be able to download is that interaction and that connection,
that experience,
and that experience of being a part of the band in a sense. You know, you're not going to be able to click a file and get that experience. That's
true.
Something that us as artists have to provide to you. And it's honestly, it's been an honor to do that with these fans, because I mean, they made this record possible, literally. So we would have never been able to get this far.
And not only that,
them,
but what the fuck is music if it's not a ritual of some sort?
Yeah.
If it's not something that makes you feel things, like why are you doing it at that point?
Oh yeah.
I
For
mean,
the women and
you know,
the money,
all
dude,
the albums that made us feel something, there was a reason behind it.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's what we want to provide. We want to provide a, you know, at shows especially, and with the album, just a sort of a ritual feel to where people can just, you know, get rid of their shitty week.
Right.
You know,
right.
everybody goes through the motions. Everybody does their thing. You know, they have to pay the bills, pay the rent, feed the kids, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And just to come to a show or listen to an album and be able to forget for just a little bit, you know what I mean, is very empowering, and it recharges the batteries.
Oh, and
you know?
Everyone needs that. Everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to be that.
Yeah.
We want to be that band that they can come and just release, you know, all that, you know, whatever they're going through, and have a good time, and then just move on with their life.
Right. But then hopefully
because
listen to the record
that's what music is meant to be, in our opinion. I think, you know.
No, I totally get that. I mean, that's the thing about, like, I guess the corporate rock mentality, when you hear music that's, like, again, quote unquote popular, that you hear on the radio and you see, like, that's shoved in your face. You know, it doesn't have the authenticity of the music that's made by people that give a shit about how it turns out and how people will perceive it, as opposed to, oh, this is catchy, this'll sell, this is good,
right?
Which
that'll
I mean,
do.
Yeah, that'll do. That's good enough.
Was that a Shrek reference?
Right. That'll do, donkey.
Exactly
that'll do.
Which, I mean, I can.
Which originally was a Babe reference, so let's, you know.
Oh, right.
Give credit where credit's
That'll do,
due.
pig.
That'll do, pig.
Yeah.
Right.
I can get down with pop music, though. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I can admit
without
that
a doubt.
I enjoy
we all
Katy Perry.
can.
Definitely.
But I mean, you know, absolutely. Katy Perry, fucking, I remember Kelly Clarkson was a huge favorite of mine.
She was huge.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's not where you're going for real fulfillment. You're going there for the candy.
Yeah.
The superficial.
You're going there to just just have some fun, snap your fingers, move on with your life.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know we want to do something more.
Right.
We want to give people something more, and we want to do it for us more. I mean, we're older, you know.
You actually have something to say at this point other than let's go party and be
which is great. I mean, you party, have fun. You know, we have some shit you can shake your ass to, but at the end of the day, there's a bit more to it, and you know, we just really, you know, going back to sort of the point is that we just really appreciate the fans that have made this happen.
Yeah.
The diehard fans that are basically like almost a street team, if you remember them, you know?
Yeah.
Online and otherwise.
Isn't that weird in itself?
I really think that a lot of those people are going to be very happy with what we've created for them.
Oh, yeah.
I really do.
Definitely.
And I think it's going to be awesome for them to finally be able to hear what we've done after they've put so much time and effort into us.
Yeah.
That's what I'm proud of.
Yeah.
I'm proud that we're actually able to give them something that mirrors back what they've given.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and how much different is it?
That's great.
Like in this record right now, you know, like let's take this album, for example, and then After the Eulogy. How much different is the marketing and, you know, the one-on-one, you know, just the whole record industry now is
it's a
vastly
different world altogether.
Yeah.
Vastly different. Not only that, but I mean, you do have to sort of put into perspective the different music because Dan and I can't just like with Boy Sets Fire, we could just go out on tour and hit every state no matter what the club was like.
Right.
You know what I mean? With Dan and I, there's a lot of electronics. There's things that if we don't have the right sound system, we're screwed.
Yeah.
We can't strip it down any, you know?
Yeah.
So
you can't just wing it.
Right. Whereas like with Boy Sets Fire, it didn't matter if anybody could hear me for the first couple of tours anyway, you know? You weren't going to, you know? It's just like, turn everything up to fucking 10 and go, you know? And as long as I was jumping around acting like a wild monkey, it didn't matter, you know?
That's true.
So, you know, at the drive-in style, just go, you know? Flip over the amp and have a good time.
Yeah.
But the industry is different too, and I think Dan was touching on that earlier. You know, as soon as the first person gets this digital release, if it hasn't already, it's going to be online.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
It's going to be free.
Yep.
You know, and so we count on, and we're going to have to count on the relationship we build because that's what's going to and no bullshit. That's what's going to sell T-shirts. That's what's going to sell things on tour that are actually going to pay for what we do.
Right.
You know, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's not the album sales. You're never going to make shit off of that. You're done.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter. But what matters is that relationship you build and the people that are going to support you, not only like emotionally and whatever, but financially.
Yeah.
And that's just honest. Like,
that's true.
They're going to buy your T-shirts. They're going to buy things that are actually going to help you keep going. So
that's true. And that was one of the things that I thought was really good about your Pledge Music campaign was that you guys had a ton of great perks. You know, I mean, like, and one of those.
We made sure of that because, I mean, you know, there's so many bands that just beg money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's like, oh, we did not want to be that band. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
We've got a CD and then we've got a CD and shirt combo. There you go. And the CD and shirt is like $80.
Right. We struggled over all of that a lot to make sure that we were giving people something that was worth it.
Well, one thing that was worth it, let's talk about your book, because holy shit.
Yep.
You've written a book.
I did. I'm freaked out about it. It's weird. Actually, what's really funny that I wanted to point out is that we're having some issues like figuring out all the songs on the album and like with lyrics and stuff like that. And I remember I finished the book pretty quickly, and I remember Dan calling bullshit on me. He's like, I haven't even written all the lyrics yet.
No. Oh. Hold on. Let me paint this picture a little more accurately here. So, I do not remember which song it was. No, actually, I think it was Darkfire. But I remember us one night in the studio all we had to do was track the vocals for this song, and Nathan's homework, if you will, between sessions was to finish the lyrics. And he came in, and I'm like, "Did you get them done?" I'm working on them. I'm like, "Dude, come on!" And he's like, "I just have one verse," and we sat there together for 4 hours practically trying to come up with like 2 lines.
Right.
2 lines.
It's always
like you wrote a book in like 3 fucking months and you can't do this.
I'm like, how the hell did you actually fill a book's worth of words when we can't come up with 2 lines for one song in 4 hours?
That's true.
Which, by the way, you can ask any band I've ever been in. I am infamous for this shit. Like coming in and going, "Oh crap! I need to write some stuff."
Give me about 10 minutes.
And just writing as I go.
Lyrics come in bursts, man. They come in bursts.
Yeah,
definitely do. If you're not feeling it, it's the most impossible thing in the world. We've got songs that we play live that I still haven't finished the lyrics for, and I just sort of fucking mumble.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's how you get the lyrics.
I know. That's exactly the way you do it.
You go live because no one can understand what you're saying anyway, and you get the. For me, I would get the sort of the cadence of it.
Yeah.
And I would get the feel for it and exactly the melody, harmony, all that stuff, and then that would help me place words to it.
Yeah.
But funny enough, like the book went fairly quickly because, well, the thing is that with an album, we needed to figure out how to make that the ideology and the ideas behind that album fit for anyone.
Right.
It had to be something that anyone could link themselves to. It couldn't just be like, I really hate when bands are like, "This is what this is about. Has to be about that." Well, then what part does anyone else have in this?
Right.
Yeah.
How can someone connect with something?
I like to create things open, especially with music, to where anyone can share in, anyone can feel. And going back to when I was a kid, and I would hear a song and it would mean something very deeply to me. And it would sort of suck when the person would explain what it was about.
I know.
Because it was like, that has nothing to do with what I thought.
Well,
but...
And I think that's what was cool about the track by track video that we put out last week is listening to all these fans and friends give their interpretation of the songs and me, listening to them going, that's interesting. I never thought of it that way, but that definitely fits. It was. Which,
by the way, I love the part, since we're speaking to Gene.
Oh yeah.
Pick out the video kid.
Oh yeah.
It's like, all of a sudden it's this pristine video.
Right.
I know.
It's what I do for a living. I shoot video
it's
and
great.
Edit. So I was like,
phone, amazing video.
4K,
different shots, different pan. It's just like
Gene hired someone. Gene hired someone for his photo shoot.
That's the thing.
Oh, you're getting sold out right now.
He sent it to a talent scout.
He hired someone.
He's put it on his demo reel.
Derek is totally being an asshole right now. What actually happened?
So Derek, tell us what actually happened.
What had happened was.
See, what had happened was.
What had happened was like
he took some acting classes.
Right. I had to do that first. Yeah. Well, no. Okay. So as you know, I was super sick over that weekend that you had initially asked, and so when Monday came, I was like, I can't talk to a camera.
Yeah.
Because I feel. I mean, why would I put myself on video talking like the way I sound right now? I would obviously not do that. So then the next day, I was feeling better. On a Tuesday, I set up a tripod and set up my camera, and it was
already up in in his bedroom.
It was not set up already. I set it up intentionally for this reason. It's sitting over there in that corner. See
I am really grateful for Derek right now. This is great. You just tell the story, buddy. Tell the story.
Sometimes I'm not so grateful for this guy, but on occasion, he's my best friend.
Well, yeah, because it's you. Why the fuck would you like that? That's great for us, though.
That's true. I mean, it's comedy.
But anyway, going back to the whole, I wrote a book, which is fucking insane.
You did. It's true.
It was cool because the idea came to me while we were doing this album. It was like, well, we're doing this album, and I've wanted to do this for a while, sort of tell my story on my life, and this was the best way to do it because it was my take on what the album was.
Right.
And I didn't want to do that, as I was saying, with the album, because I think the album should be for everyone. I think everyone should be able to have their own story, their own. But if I can give a guideline,
right.
I thought that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like where, like, here's my story from this album. What's your story?
Right. So your liner notes happen to be 170 pages, whereas the liner notes to the average record are like 3 or 4 flops.
And you can't fit that in the album. I mean, that's just too much money. So it's just like, so I had to do it separately in a book. So
or write really small.
Yeah.
You could write it really small.
Right.
And then send it with a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
But man, it's great to be able to get that out and to have that go along with the album. Just to get that story out for the most part. And to, like I said, with like sort of rituals and getting things pushed out and then done with, I can finally now sort of go on to the next,
Move
no
past
pun
that.
intended, chapter of my life,
Right.
So
You totally intended that pun.
I did intend that pun. I
He
said
had it scribbled down on his
no
hand
pun intended,
beforehand.
but intended. Yeah, I thought it out real hard. Fuck you guys.
And so the album.
Dan is my Derek.
Yeah, exactly. See, no, I deal with this shit every week, and I guess you understand the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You got to have love for them, but at the same time, you want to just stick a pin in their eye sometimes, just straight through.
We both do that to each other.
Exactly. No.
We are a bizarre balance with each other. Like if I weren't in this band, Dan would have released this album in 2050. And if it were just me, it would have been released in 5 days and sounded like trash.
Right.
So it's
and my album would have been like 10 8-minute long epic electronic soundscapes.
Right.
And yours would have been just
Dorky,
3-minute 3-chord
recorded on my phone with so we balance each other out a lot with that.
See, that's good. Derek and I balance each other out. Because I'm funny and he's not, so we bring the,
That
we kind of give each other a little bit of something to play off of.
That wasn't
fair
funny.
enough. Fair enough.
Hilarious.
we definitely have to sort of pull each other back a couple times on things.
Yeah.
But it's great because you get to learn a lot.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Eeyore and Tigger.
Yeah. It is.
Or Shrek and the donkey.
Seriously.
Or Shrek and the donkey.
Yeah.
Why's it got to keep coming back to Shrek? It's
We
weird,
have to.
man.
I feel like that's our way to get on some kind of Shrek compilation, and there's got to be a new one coming out sometime. So
We've got to be working on more.
I'm just trying to bash in the fact that I really will sell my stuff to Shrek in any form and fashion.
Take all of it.
So
Jesus. Oh, that's awful.
So yes. Next question.
Oh man. So so people can order your book and your new CD right now, correct? Pre-order.
That is correct. It is actually
the book's off,
the book will be off as of midnight tomorrow night.
Nice.
Okay.
And then past that, you'll have to wait till it's released on March 3rd, and you'll have to order it from Amazon after that.
Yep, you'll just have to get in
Because
line
we're not
with that.
doing it anymore. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Trying to do this and then paying the extra shipping and crap like that. So tomorrow night at midnight, it will go off the market. And you will have to wait till the release and then order it from Amazon.
Yeah.
And
now, the CD, on the other hand, if you just go to nathangraycollective.com, you can navigate to our shop there.
Okay.
Right now, the only thing you can order there is the digital copy or pre-order the hard copy.
Yep.
We will have more merch on there, I promise, guys. It's just gotta.
Swear to you.
People have been asking. It's unfortunately for financial reasons and timing reasons. It's got to wait until after we get back from the tour. So, for those of you not in Europe or the UK, just be patient, please. Yeah. We will get some more cool stuff.
One of the things about Pledge Music is, and I guess it's sort of cool because they make sure that you fulfill what you say you're going to do. But there's a certain amount of money you don't get until everything's fulfilled.
Right.
So we had to be very frugal. I know it looks to other people, it's like, holy shit, they went double their, all this stuff. We don't see that money until we fulfill it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So a lot of our own money has gone into that in order to pay ourselves back once we get to that point. Right. And so there's a lot of stuff that just can't happen until then, but it will. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to ask, I forgot to ask about this. So in the live show, what is the setup? Like, how intricate is that? How many people do you have playing with you,
Right.
and how's that go?
Funny you should ask that.
Funny you should ask.
That's been
Yeah.
my entire weekend. This weekend is finalizing that.
Yeah.
It's three of us on stage. So there's Nathan, obviously, who sings and sometimes plays guitar.
Every
those
once in a
three
while.
whenever we play a song that hits those three chords that he knows.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have a drummer. It was the last time we toured. It was Chad from Boysetsfire, fulfilling one of his lifelong dreams.
Right.
we were happy to oblige.
Happy to oblige. Yep.
For the album, we pulled in a really good friend of mine, Dan Torelli from the band Medina Lake.
Okay.
He was courteous enough to come in and play all the album live drums. So anything you hear on the album is from him. And then the couple shows we played in Florida, and then this tour is going to be Jake from the band The Banner, who is coming and playing with us, and he's awesome, man.
Great.
He's a lot of fun. He is just a total pro when it comes to being a drummer. I mean, the speed at which he learned the songs just blew my mind. So.
He's great, and also he's a great balance again on tour for Dan and I. You know?
Nathan and I are a couple old curmudgeons. And we bring in this
20-something-year-old, crazy man, yeah.
So there's going to be a little bit of like party that happens on the.
Oh
road,
well, we just sort of push him into it and watch.
Yeah,
we don't we live vicariously through Jake.
Go forth, young man. We've got this. We'll be in bed, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
There were definitely times, like in Florida, where it's like, oh shit, he's gonna fight somebody.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I was definitely going, man, I can't remember the last fight I was in, but I guess I should probably start to remember.
Right. But I guess now is the next one.
Yeah,
right.
Oh, Jake's drunk. Let's do this.
Oh man, that's one.
But in a fun way. It's funny. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh God, this dude doing this again.
Yeah.
It's more like, dude, this is the funniest thing I ever saw, and if this starts a fight,
I'll fight
then
for it.
whoever fights him is wrong.
Yeah.
Because he's hilarious. So.
Right.
But
That's awesome. From a technical side,
I'm going to pee while you're explaining this.
Okay, Nathan's.
Oh, sorry. I'm also going to rip that earbud out of your ear.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
We can't hear you right now because I ripped it out of his ear.
And I'm back. All right. So from the technical side of things, the setup, and Nathan's breaking more stuff. Let you break now.
I broke this.
Yeah, Derek just walked away too.
No,
I got it. All right, we're
Broke
good.
everything on his way out of the room.
We're good. We got it. Calm down.
He forgot he still had a mic attached to him.
Damn mics.
So let me try this again.
Yeah.
From the technical side of things, it's Nathan playing guitar and singing. Sometimes mainly just singing, probably this tour, and then a drummer. And then I am the one man does everything band in the corner. I have a monkey that claps cymbals together on my shoulder, and a little tambourine with a kick drum at the bottom. But no, I pretty much am running the show from the technical side. Obviously, it's a lot of very thick electronic music, so we're running backing tracks. Sorry, purists, if you think that that's cheating, then go enjoy your dirt punk band.
Right.
We're just not the music for you, I guess.
Yeah.
But I promise you, I did play all of the things originally, so I didn't just hit a button in the studio and make the music happen.
So you did. You had a lot to do with the music on this record, then. Obviously, pretty much all of the backing tracks are just you, backing yourself.
Yeah. Musically, it is pretty much everything that I did in the studio. We did, like I said, Dan Torelli did all the live drums on the record for the songs that had those, and then we brought in our friend Rebecca Latshaw, who did all of the classical style piano, so like Damascus and Anthemic Hearts. That was all her playing that stuff. Because though I can program the shit out of a keyboard, I don't. I was never classically trained the way she was, so I wouldn't sit down and bang those songs out the same way she does. But yeah, in the live setup, I typically bring a couple of keyboards, and then I play acoustic and electric guitar and sing all the backing vocals. So
you're super busy in every set, basically.
Yeah.
Oh man, I am a giant ball of stress the whole time.
Twisting knobs,
totally
pushing
true.
buttons,
Totally true.
all over the place.
Man,
What's that?
Twisting knobs and pushing buttons.
You're just like making everything happen that happens.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much, including embarrassing moments like on the last tour when I forgot to turn the notifications off on my iPad, running all the backing tracks.
Oh man!
And
incredible.
Yeah, and it finished charging and let me know, and the whole audience know that it had finished charging right in the middle of the set.
God.
You just got to go with it, man.
Awesome.
You've got to put
Absolutely
that
brilliant.
in the album
Yes,
somewhere
that's
now,
true.
probably.
That's
Oh
true.
man.
Yeah.
It was one of those moments where I just wanted to go run in the corner and hide.
Yeah.
And I'll look back at it and laugh my ass off.
Right.
How ridiculous it was. But
I hate those moments so much. In the moment. I mean, obviously, you can look back on it now and say, oh, hey, in the second chorus of Ethan Blood, we should put a notification in.
Yep.
Because it happened live once.
Yep.
So.
And the best part was it happened in the middle of Wayward Ghost, which is the quietest song that we could have ever been.
Yeah.
Like if it had happened in the middle of any of the other songs, everyone probably would have just like looked at each other funny and ignored it.
Right.
Not that one.
Would have just been a weird blooper bleep in the middle of all the bloops and bleeps, right?
Yeah. So that was a good time. I'm trying to avoid that this time around.
I have
Keeps you on your
faith in you.
toes,
I think
though.
you can do it. That's true.
Yeah.
Keeps you paying attention, making sure every night.
All right. Well, we've got some questions from listeners.
Oh, now you have questions.
Well,
so what was all that other stuff?
Right.
Yeah,
What were we doing?
other stuff. We weren't even recording this.
They're
first
actually
part.
just hitting record now.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to go?
Oh, I thought we were just hanging out. What?
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
No, we've had like 8 beers. We were just like pre-gaming.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you guys cool?
We're good. You want to start
good.
now? Let's start.
Now that
Do
got
you
us
remember
good and
what
saucy,
you said this
let's do
previous-
this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got all of it.
Okay.
All of it.
I have had a few beers. I'm starting to jumble over my words.
Dang.
I like it. I'm enjoying it.
Oh.
Dang.
Dang. All right.
No, I will interject. We did get a really tasty
It's
beer
really
tonight.
good.
I'm going to say, though, I was editing some video for you guys early on. It was the first like teaser for Until the Darkness Takes Us. And God damn it, Daniel, if you did not make me want Oktoberfest, dude. Like,
dude, wait.
How much of that did you go through during recording?
A lot.
A good amount.
Sam
There's
Adams
always
Oktoberfest
Sam Adams,
is one of my favorite beers of the whole year.
Yeah.
So every time it comes out, I endlessly buy it.
He always has a Sam Adams sample pack.
But
we're drinking it right now.
We're literally drinking. We were just talking about this before we got on this podcast. I was like, I should really reach out to Sam Adams and see if they'll sponsor us.
You should.
It's pretty much the beer of the collective. At least
Right,
in the
it
studio,
totally
so.
is.
It was just real
I
weird.
just had a
because-
Fresh's Helles and an Ella Blanc IPL.
Ooh, IPL. It was really weird.
It's good.
I don't drink a whole lot of Sam Adams, and I went to the store that night that I was working on that video months ago, and I came home, and my fiance was like, "Oh, you got Oktoberfest? What? Really? Where did that come from?" Because I don't.
This is good.
Because I don't normally like. It's
I
not
don't
normally.
have Sam Adams unless I'm here.
Oh,
Like,
see, exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not a beer that I normally go to, and so she was kind of like, "Weird, you weirdo. Why did you get Sam Adams Oktoberfest?"
It's great though.
I was like, I've been staring at it all day. I've been staring at a bottle all day on the
I
screen.
need
Now I have to
Product
have
placement, buddy.
There you go,
exactly.
product placement. We're
it.
on
You did
it.
a great
It's
job.
all about product
Listen
placement.
up, Sam Adams.
Bring the endorsements
It's
this way.
it's like that little trailer in the beginning of the movie. The "Let's go out to the moon,"
Right.
dancing popcorn and stuff, and suddenly you're like, "Man, I really need some."
Which,
popcorn.
by the way, Sam Adams, you're welcome.
yeah.
You're just trying to get that Sam Adams.
We
money.
got him
Sam
to buy it.
Adams money, yeah. All right. So this first one comes from your Twitter post here. So Svenom, maybe, possibly.
Venom. Yep.
Please
Sven.
tell
Sven.
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 Svenom.
Okay. Please
Svenom.
tell us a bit about
Svenom.
the equipment you used for this album: guitars, amps, software, all that nerdy stuff.
Yeah, I wanted
I
to talk
bet
about
Dan
software.
can.
I
I bet Dan can.
the nerd in the room can answer
Right.
that one. And Sven, I saw your question earlier when I figured out that there was no way I was going to make the earlier Facebook Live thing, and so I'm like, Nathan, I'm like, tell him to tune into the podcast, and I'll answer it there. I was like, I don't want to disappoint him.
Right.
So
Sven is awesome.
Yeah, Sven
Love
is
Sven.
awesome. Love
Very
that
good guy.
Yeah.
So to answer the question now, in the studio, I'm using a lot of stuff. I won't go through the entire list, but I'll just give a general idea. So the software that I use to write all the songs, I've been a big time user and supporter and advocate of Ableton Live. I am a longtime Pro Tools guy. I went to school on Pro Tools and I love Pro Tools, but from a workflow standpoint of actually writing music from scratch, there is nothing that compares to Ableton in just being able to get ideas down quick, rearrange stuff on the fly, and they've got just really great plugins and effects and everything in there. So that's kind of the hub of the whole thing, is working through there. As far as all of the input stuff, the audio interface I'm using with the mic preamps it's a Focusrite Liquid Sapphire, which has the high end emulation preamps in it for those fellow nerds out there.
We're using a Focusrite as well. Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Awesome. Yeah, they're great. They're great products. They make great preamps, and you know, this particular interface really allowed me to try out a bunch of different styles of emulation to find one that really matched Nathan's voice really well. To kind of, I mean, Nathan's got a very distinct tone. So I definitely wanted to make sure to highlight that. On that end, I actually gifted myself right before we started tracking the final things and bought myself a new microphone, because
I was going to ask what vocal mic you use the most.
Yeah, for this album, I was actually lucky enough. The company Blue put all their entire mic line on sale right before we started recording. And I was actually fortunate enough to grab their baby bottle, which has been on my short list of stuff to pick up for a long time now. But it was priced at that point where I'm like, there are other things I need to buy first. And so I never got it. And then the price dropped on this thing big time. And I was just like, well, there's no reason for me to not get it now. And I know it's funny because we finished all the demo tracks, and as we're coming up on doing the final ones, Nathan's like, do we really need to retrack all the vocals? I think they sound okay. And I'm like, dude, we recorded these demo tracks in like a $60 microphone and an untreated room. Yes, we have to leave the vocals. And I set up the baby bottle, and we recorded the first track, and I played it back, and he was just like, oh,
right.
That's what nice mics do.
All made sense at that point. Yeah.
That's the weird thing about equipment, is you never really think it matters, because that it takes you back to like the whole, it's not the instrument, it's the musician.
Exactly.
Like there are some amazing people in history that have made great music on shitty equipment. But you know what? Definitely. It doesn't ever fucking hurt to have like nice stuff at all.
No.
No.
Hurts.
And it's a balance, I mean, I worked at a music store and was a sales guy selling this stuff for a long time, and taught a lot of classes on recording and everything while I was there too. And the one thing I really try to drive home to people that are looking into this stuff, which I assume is why the question was asked in the first place, which is, the two things I really encourage people to spend their money on and to invest in are your microphones and your studio monitors, because those are the only two things that are going to last you forever.
Yeah.
That's true.
Everything else that's in between is all technology that's going to be outdated in a couple of years anyway. But you need to get really good quality audio in and be able to hear really good quality audio out. Everything in between is just the medium. I mean, I would take a high-end, good quality microphone running into a Tascam 4-track tape deck.
Yeah.
Right.
Than I would a crappy microphone running into $1 million studio.
That's
stuff.
true.
It's definitely garbage in, garbage out kind of theory.
It's a good way to think about it.
And and it definitely.
What kind of stuff did you use the most for, like? Because I mean, I make a lot of electronic music, so I'm always interested in that. And since this album is heavily electronic, what do you lean towards for like synthesizer sounds and like exploring that side of things, because that is a whole other world of music creation.
Figure out what of the 5,000 different patches you could use.
My go-tos from the hardware synth side, the two keyboards that I use the most, and these are the same two that I take on tour with me, are the Novation Mini Nova, which I love just it's especially with the vocoder and everything. You know, like the vocoder that's on Memento Mori underneath the Nathan's vocals. That's me running through the Mini Nova. And then the other one, which is the love of my life, keyboard wise, which is probably nobody else's, is the Alesis Micron.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Tiny,
Oh God!
dude, that thing, the very first time I played it, I was like, I have to own this thing, because Alesis came out with the big version of it called the Ion, and that thing, it sounded great, but it was the most confusing thing to try to navigate, and it never sold, and I never wanted it. And then they came out with this Micron, which was like the same engine, but just the compact version, and dude, it is, that thing is just, it's little and dirty as shit.
Yeah.
And I love it. And
I saw pictures of you using one, like back, towards like the EP recording era. And like, I kicked myself because when the Alesis Micron came out, I bought one and I had it for about a year and I hardly used it because for some reason, because of like the knob where you push it to like scroll through the menu, like just the setup of it alone irritated me as an early user. And so I quickly just said, okay, you know what, I can't even function getting around for the sounds. So I'm just going to sell it.
Right.
And I've sold it. And then I've since then heard stuff that you've done and realized you've used one. I was like, well, shit.
Yeah.
That was that was a really nice synthesizer.
For a really tiny, very slimmed down synth, I mean, just you can get some really great thick sounds out of that thing.
It beats the hell out of the what is the microKORG that came out at the same time?
Yeah.
Because I remember a lot of friends told me that when I bought
the microKORG's great, but I don't know. I was never a big fan of the interface of that one myself. Like it's really easy to just click a couple knobs and have something there, but I felt like it was very surface only. Like you really couldn't dig in with that one.
Right.
But yeah, moving on from those. So those are the two hardware ones I probably use the most on this particular record. And then a ton of software synths. My go-tos, I would say my 3 or 4 biggest ones. Absynth, absolutely love that plugin, man. That was definitely a go-to. The IK Multimedia stuff, like what the hell is it called? I'm blanking on that. Sample, what is it? God, I'm blanking out. What the hell's the name of that? Anyway, all the IK stuff.
It's
Sample Tank, there it is.
Sample Tank, yeah.
Sample Tank. Thank you, Nathan.
No
I knew
problem,
you knew that one.
I'm here. I got it.
So,
I'm trying not to fall asleep. It's fine.
So IK Multimedia Sample Tank and their whole collection. There's a lot of the appreciated synths that are in there. It was this great plugin I came across from a company called UVI. It's just really awesome sounding emulation of like vintage hardware synths.
Like the Juno and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the ReFX stuff as well is really great. So a lot of the synth sounds come from there. A lot of the electronic drum sounds, those come from various places too, including the Arturia Spark, and a lot. I have the whole Arturia suite. So a lot of the sounds came from there as well.
Man.
But as far as guitars and everything, my baby's it's a Schecter C1 Plus.
Nice.
That I love. That's pretty much the only thing I used on the record there, and then I have a Taylor acoustic for the little bit of acoustic that didn't make it on this record.
Right.
And then a Spectre bass. And the Spectre bass I ran through a bunch of different. My goal on this album was to kind of combine dirty chaos with really pristine, clean melodies too. I kind of wanted that niceness with a little bit of a dirty undertone.
That works because the bass
to it
is so heavy in this record. I noticed it. Like, I mean, the sound system on my car is okay. It's not amazing, but one thing that it does do really well is bass response. And
we worked for that. We definitely wanted that more bass.
I can tell. It hits so
like
hard.
Heathen Blood, for an example, that is live bass. I have it running through a Tech 21 Sans amp to kind of dirty it up.
Ah.
But then in the chorus, to make it even bigger, it's actually reinforced with a really dirty Saul synth underneath of it. So you're getting double the bass.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
It rattles the shit out of my Subaru like a lot.
As it should.
That was the
Subaru
goal.
is rocking.
Subaru is rocking.
Man,
It rattles the shit out of my Subaru.
My Subaru is crazy when I put on the Nathan
Right.
Gray Collective. Okay?
It is bumping.
when I'm at the school pickup line,
Right.
man, you should see the looks I get.
Oh man, you really should. You really should, because it happens.
Oh.
I'm that weirdo. Like,
Yeah.
who's that guy with tattoos picking up a little kid? That's like,
Right.
sir.
Wait, whoa.
I'm good. I'm
Let's-
good.
Your little kids, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
No,
Yeah,
not just kids in
Not
general.
just random little
No, it's
kids.
not.
And here's where Derek would chime in
Yeah.
and make some shitty comment. Go for it.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna.
yeah.
I'm not gonna get on the side of that.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna make jokes.
Haven't had that many beers yet.
Yeah, I've got a line, Gene.
Okay. Fair enough.
And the fact that you don't know where my line is after all these years sort of upsets me.
You don't have a line. You really don't. You're only saying that because we're like
That's
talking
true.
to
Once
people.
we get off the air, I'm gonna
Shit.
drill you.
I'm
Not
gonna
that
fuck
way.
you up with this picking up kids thing.
Okay, so next question comes from
So
Ira
awful.
Henry. It says, "What is something that you are listening to at this moment that would surprise your fans?"
Ooh, shit.
Mine would easily be the new John Legend album,
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
all right.
Lightness and Dark. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. I love that album.
I have not heard that. Yet.
It's so fucking good. You got to hear it. I mean,
I
I
never
would
would've guessed
assume
that.
that people wouldn't normally go, "Oh, he's got to be a huge John Legend fan."
Right.
So, and honestly, I never have been. It was just this recent one. I heard.
I just love his deep cuts.
I heard him play live on some awards thing or something, some dumb awards thing, and he played the song "Love Me Now," and it had a lot of like crazy, like almost Peter Gabriel-esque like
Oh, damn.
feel to it. This like world music thing, and it took off from there. I started listening to it from there, and it was like, wow, this is an amazing album. Like it's great.
Huh.
So and it's not something that I would normally listen to, but
Right.
that would be it.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say for me it would be Jamiroquai.
Oh,
shit,
dude,
yeah.
I love
So good.
Jamiroquai.
Dude, I mean, I have always loved that band, and it's funny. It's like the one song I don't like is the one that they're famous for.
Yeah.
And everything else that they've done since then has just been amazing, but nobody seems to like them that
That's
much
true.
other than this little cult
Mhm.
following.
Yeah.
But man, if you haven't listened to it yet, their new single
It's
called,
great. I
Automation,
like it a lot. Yeah.
Oh.
dude. The first time I put it on, I wanted to kick a baby. Like it blew me away, and so I'm really looking forward to the full album coming out.
I seriously stared at my phone for a full 10 minutes when Dan texted me, "Dude, you've got to hear the new Jamiroquai single." I was like, I don't even know who this guy is.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is texting me Jamiroquai right now? And then I went and listened to it. And it was like, holy shit, this is incredible.
Yeah, I like
how
it.
the
I
hell?
really do.
It's just so good. That verse is disgusting. Like it's just like
I know.
I don't even know how to comprehend it. Like it's so good.
I mean,
Like,
the guy's got a gift. I mean, kind of in the way
oh,
that,
without
like,
a doubt.
Spice
Yeah.
Girls should totally get together and make another record.
That's not
because
the thing.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
should
yeah.
I
happen
enjoy,
ever.
dude. Spice World is a good record.
That's awful, Gene.
I don't care who you are. It's a good record. It's a good record.
You don't care who I am.
I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. It's a good record. You can't say otherwise because you
No.
know it's a solid pop record.
It is a corporate put together piece of shit, but we'll move on. We'll just go on ahead
Man,
here.
God. You guys, okay, so now you guys get to understand what I deal with every week.
Yeah.
Just adversary.
Oh,
What
come
do you
on.
say about a Guido?
Not a Guido.
Right? I don't know.
Avita.
Aaron
Avita.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Aaron Wolfenbarger says, "What is the rarest record you own?"
Oh shit.
The rarest record
Yeah.
I own?
Yep.
Ooh.
God, I gotta think about that one.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
a
yeah.
test pressing of your first EP. Boom.
Probably.
Honestly, like,
Solid.
no, seriously, probably the rarest thing I have is some kind of fucking test pressing of a Boy Sets Fire album.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a lot of rare stuff. I have a lot of vinyl and I have music, but I wouldn't say any of it is rare except for like I have a test pressing of Misery Index. It was like only 6 of them were done, and it was like specially screened and just for us by the label that put it out. And so shit like that, like weird stuff that I have of what I've done is probably the rarest stuff I have.
Hey, did I mention that I need a copy of the Misery Index on vinyl?
Right.
buddy.
I've done a lot of work for free.
Yeah, hey man, remember those videos? Remember
I
those?
would bring that up a lot. Yes, that may actually get you one.
Oh shit. Well, in that case, I keep that in mind.
I think for me, it's not a record. I have a VHS of the old 9 Inch Nails rare videos, which included the Happiness and Slavery video.
I remember that.
Which, if you haven't seen that video, don't be eating any raw meat or anything when you're watching it. But you should watch it, and then you'll go, oh, this is why Dan puts in so many fucked up sounding shit in Nathan's music.
Right.
But I have that. That's probably the rarest thing I have.
And I'll bet that is actually worth money because I have like a mid '90s Morrissey. Like I'm obsessed with Morrissey. I just can't help it. I mean, the guy's brilliant.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. See, I know. It's either love or hate from most people. But I got this. It was a show in Texas, I believe, and it was done on VHS. And I don't know how many there were, but I've seen it go on eBay for like $300 to $400 for this VHS. And
Right.
To me, it's crazy that a VHS tape can actually be sold for that much money now.
Oh yeah, that's
right.
Crazy.
Who can even watch it?
Right, I can't even watch it. I don't have a VHS player anymore, so
yeah.
a VCR, if you will.
It makes me wonder, all these kids that are asking for cassettes now. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't at first.
I'm too old for that.
I didn't get it at first.
Yeah, we've struggled with this, but we've understood.
It's a cheaper medium to be able to put out a physical product. So that's the part of it that I can get behind.
Right.
But does anyone buy it?
Yeah, dude.
CDs
surprisingly
are not expensive anymore.
Right,
That's
CDs aren't expensive. Like what? Like
yeah, but it's more of like
nostalgic.
It's more of like a nostalgic and more sort of like a record where you're not skipping through songs. You're listening to the whole thing.
Yeah, but with an album, an album, you've got a bigger thing where you can add posters and like more artwork and
album. But vinyl makes sense because
right.
it is.
Well, yeah, that's true.
It is better quality audio.
Yes.
It is.
Than
but
you're going to get
if you're a band
from
on
CD.
a budget, and you're wanting to
then
put out
you
an
put out
album,
a CD or a digital release.
Right.
You don't jump in the time machine and try to market yourself to kids in the 70s.
Right.
Like
whether you
hey,
like
we
it
got
or
a new
not,
8-track
it is
coming
a
out.
fad right now for sure. Like
it is.
Cassettes are
cassette tapes were.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
They were the worst medium ever made.
yeah.
They sound awful. They get fucking ripped up in your fucking tape. Fuck tapes. I'm not even trying to act like this is an okay thing to talk about.
Hey Nathan, the next question was, will there be a cassette release of Until the
Oh
Dawn?
yeah. Wait for that. It's happening.
It's like, hey Nathan, I love your band and really respect you. I really want a cassette tape. My dying wish. By the way, I'm dying, Nathan. Can I get a cassette release of this? So this is awkward now.
You're not dying quick enough. That's the problem.
I've got the solution here. Because cassette tapes are nostalgia, right? That's the thing. Great. So any of you out there that want tapes, you can really get nostalgic, and you can get your CD player and plug it into the input of your tape player and hit record and make your girlfriend a mixtape of our songs.
There you go. Get nostalgic as fuck with that.
That's the most like say anything.
Don't make us do your nostalgia for you. You do it, you lazy fuck.
Exactly.
I think of it as like a little cooler way to hand out our digital download. So if you put a digital download in with a cassette,
that's true.
yeah.
And so they can throw the plastic cassette away
exactly.
and keep the
Right,
download.
so they can throw that in the trash. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
What
a
does
little
this
bit
world
more
come to?
material to pollute with. There you go.
It's like a little ship
Yeah.
that you can put your digital download in
Like a taco.
and just
Right.
pass it over to them.
It's like a taco
Yeah.
shell for all the good stuff inside.
All right, so we all agree that that's stupid, and we're going to move on. Good. All right.
Man, so I guess the cassette release is out.
Jeez.
Right.
I'll tell
I'll tell Franklin that the cassette's never going to happen.
Dine in Denver at, that I'm sorry, fuck you. So Nathan says that you're full of shit.
It's just not going to happen.
I'm Andy the Magnificent says, good evening, guys. What has been some of the obstacles you had to overcome while writing the book? Is there a specific author or style that you tried to channel when writing?
Ooh.
And what are your favorite autobiographies written by musicians?
Damn.
Yeah. No, there definitely wasn't I'm not a writer by any stretch of the imagination. When I came up with the book, I wanted to do it autobiographically, but I wanted to make it a lot less boring than an autobiography because I can't imagine just reading through a book of facts. That sucks.
Right.
So, so I added in my own sort of prose and lyrical license.
Can I just stop you to make a political joke real quick? You just said that you can't
Go for it.
imagine reading a book of facts, so you sound basically like Donald Trump. Oh, but
Right.
where's my German
right.
symbol? Come on, that was funny.
We'll add that in post.
That was hilarious.
Because
Good
that
job.
guy doesn't know anything about facts. Okay, I'm sorry. That was funny in my head.
This is why I have to tell jokes.
Shut
Nathan.
up.
It didn't play out as well as I think you hoped it to.
It didn't.
But you're playing to a certain base, so that's good. I mean,
That's
there's
true.
a bunch of kids that feel like they have to laugh or they're going to get kicked out of the scene. So.
Exactly.
That's probably what's going to happen.
It's
too.
important.
It's a joke about Donald Trump. We have to laugh. Okay.
Yeah, it's not fake news. It's not fake news. This is real.
Right.
Not an alarm. This is for real.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point being
Anyway.
is that I'm not running to. Oh Jesus, I'm not running to be president anytime in my lifetime. So yeah, we can get that out of our heads. So I don't have to worry about just facts.
Right, that's true.
But you know, when you're doing an autobiography, I've read a couple, and I honestly I can't name you one that I care about. No, wait a minute, I lied. There is one. It's George Jones's autobiography.
Oh wow.
Shit.
Yeah, which was awesome because it's fucking George Jones.
Right.
The motherfucker barely made it to a show ever because he was too coked and drunk out of his mind. There was a point where his driver's license was taken from him for driving drunk so many times, so he tried to drive a tractor to the bar.
Oh.
And got pulled over for drunk driving on his tractor.
Oh my God.
This is George Jones, who's a millionaire from making country music. Like he's a godfather of country music. And this is the life he led. And it's incredible. The whole book is like that, and it's just like, oh my God, dude, what are you doing? But just amazing. It's what you want out of a country artist, I'll be honest. But,
yeah, that's true.
so that would be my favorite. But when I went into this, I wasn't thinking I need to make this a certain way or like how it's been done before or anything like that. It was more just, all right, I want to state the facts, and I want to state them in a way that people will be able to understand what I've been through in my life, without obviously getting too graphic, but enough to where people who have been through at least somewhat of the same experience can grab some inspiration from that. And then even people who haven't could still have a good book to read.
That makes total
sense. And something that could inspire them and that could be entertaining and, and at least tell a story.
Right.
And fill them in on some periods of my life. Like, even if it was just fans of Boy Sets Fire or whatever, they could have a part where they can just read about that, So that was really all that went into that, was just being able to tell my story so I can be done with it.
Right. That's very true. And that's kind of the catharsis of writing a book, I would imagine, is like, okay, cool, I've got this done, it's out, and people can consume it, but I'm done with it, and I can move past this.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a really good feeling. Do you have any favorite, like, if I don't know how much you read, man, but like if you were gonna pick an artist, like, just out of just for fun, just books that you read on a regular basis, what kind of stuff do you read or find yourself picking up the most?
Recently, I haven't had a whole lot of time, I'll be honest with you, to sit down with a book. Like, and honestly, if I have, it's been my own.
Yeah.
Like, working on it and all that stuff. So
he's that narcissistic.
I'm that narcissistic.
Exactly.
I just stand in front of a mirror all day and read passages
Like
out of it to
Shakespeare,
myself.
you're holding a skull up into the air.
And I masturbate while I do it.
Right.
Yeah. I just jerk off in front of a
This
mirror,
is all completely
reading
new. That's
passages,
how I'm imagining it, right?
and go, "Fuck yeah, Nathan."
Yeah.
Like, it's basically it. Like, I flex a little, like,
Oh,
you know.
God.
Finally calm, and then I feel dirty and burn the book. And
That's so awful.
It's awful.
Start again
It's a
tomorrow.
roller coaster of emotions. But yeah. So no, I don't have anything recently that I've read. All that to just say.
All that to say, yeah.
I don't know. Nothing really.
Yeah.
Nothing really.
Right.
I'm good.
You could have cut out a lot of that.
No, these are the good things.
That's the gold.
Yeah.
nugget
Oh yeah,
of
no,
the podcast
absolutely. That
right
needs
there.
to be heard.
That's,
Yes.
that's the thing
Yeah,
that we
the
will
vision that you-
soundbite and
That's
put.
Oh yeah. Oh that.
The vision you just created probably made some of our crazy fans just come.
Right.
That's true.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We
I
just
want to hear
sitting there
more about
going,
the crazy fans.
we set out in this podcast just to
knew
make
it.
as many
I
people
knew
come as
it.
possible.
Right. I'm gonna have to stand in his bushes more often.
Oh man, that's something. That's I wanted to bring that up earlier when you mentioned it. Like without going into detail, because you obviously can't, because it's a podcast, people can listen, and even the creepy people can listen. But
And they
Right.
are for sure.
Oh, they're totally
And they
listening.
are, for sure. Right.
Is there anything you feel?
And now there's a bunch of
comfortable-
people going, "Am I the creepy
Am I?
person?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Right.
newsflash, if you're sitting there wondering if you're the creepy person,
You're the creepy person.
you're the creepy person.
Is there? That's so true. That's so true. If you have to even think about it, I wonder if
If you
I'm
even have to
oh.
think about it.
Right. If it
Chances
even
are.
occurs to you that you might have to ask that question,
Yeah.
you are.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories along those lines that would be interesting but not too revealing? Obviously, to not
No,
un-
because they would all be way too revealing.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's all. Yeah.
So-
People would know exactly who I'm talking to.
So real fanatical fan base. That's
it's not like anyone was very like covert about their craziness. So it was just like,
it's straight
okay,
out.
well that's how that happened, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
ignore that and just move on with my life because that's something. All right.
I'm gonna go drink that out of my brain.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna get that gone and delete and move forward.
Right.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
I mean, after sharing it with a couple friends.
Well,
like,
obviously,
of course.
hey,
yeah.
dude, you got to check this out.
Oh, God.
Someone manscaped my face into their pubic
Oh man. It was glorious, but I
Yeah.
can't look at it. I
hair.
can't.
They're great artists.
They are.
I mean, it's sad, but I had to get rid of it. But it was outstanding.
Oh
So,
God.
all right. Paper Scuff says, "Will Tomorrow Come Today ever see a vinyl pressing?"
Ooh.
It's a great question. I don't know because that album is so held up in bullshit. Just, it went from, it was owned by Wind Up, all that kind of stuff. And
Right.
that's not even really a label anymore. And I don't know who owns what anymore. So, we were able to do it with Misery Index, but
Yeah.
Tomorrow Come Today, I don't know if we'll ever be able to do. I'd love to. I think it'd be cool, but honestly, also at the same time, like that's a difficult album for Boy Sets Fire. Like none of us love the production on that,
Yeah.
or really love to think about that time period because it sucked. Love playing some of those songs live, but other than that, it's like, I don't know. So it's not going to be a hard fought battle to get that going. So.
Man, that would be a really good one to have pressed, though. I never even realized that wasn't pressed. That's crazy.
Crazy.
The things you learn.
Cat Groove says, "Do you guys dig on Lee Fields and the Expressions?"
Lee Fields and the Expressions.
I happen to love it. It's part of that new kind of like neo soul kind of stuff. And there's some people that do it really well, and some people that don't. But Lee Fields
I don't
is
think I'm
pretty
familiar.
awesome. Oh, Lee Fields.
I don't think I heard what the question was.
Yeah,
I
what?
couldn't hear that. What?
Do you
Sorry,
like-
I couldn't either.
Lee Fields and the Expressions. Have you heard them?
I have not heard them.
I don't know who that is.
Pretty good. It's like the new kind of like soul that's that's
yeah, no, I know
happening.
the like that like Northern Soul thing, whatever. Like I know the style,
like
but,
Leon Bridges,
and there's some cool stuff, but I couldn't name you anything out of it. So yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I don't want to act like I know what I'm talking about.
But you do know John Legend.
Yeah, you do know that.
But,
I love
but John Legend and Jamiroquai though.
Yeah,
that's true.
Those guys are
straight up. Yeah, got it. We're totally cool.
Right. All right, I think that's all the
our
questions
hipster
we have.
cred. We hate cassettes.
Yeah,
Right.
you hate cassettes.
And we don't know what that stuff is. So
we just lost. Probably
Jesus.
25 fans.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell
hipster
bootleg
contingent
versions
is
of
out.
cassettes for this album.
Yeah,
Nathan.
we're
I just want
fucked.
you to know that.
Yeah.
We're gonna run an experiment
Yeah,
and see
we're
how
gonna do
much.
bootleg versions of Until the Darkness.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. We'll do that. So, guys, we want to thank you tremendously for doing this with us tonight. We've kept you for an hour and
Absolutely.
45 minutes. So,
I believe
will-
that's you've had your damage and torture so
right.
far.
That's true. But I want to turn it over to you one more time, just in case. Is there anything else that you guys want to say before we go? And also, before I give you that, can we play a song off of the new record on the way out of this interview? And if so, what song?
I would say as far as the song goes, Heathen Blood would
That'd probably be the
one
best way to
play.
go. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sounds good to me.
However, everyone should definitely keep checking social media and stuff this week because you might be able to hear something else.
Oh,
Yep.
So put that out there.
New thing coming about.
Yeah,
Gene, you
otherwise-
know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this.
Right.
Gene's over here pretending
only
like he has
thing I
no
would-
idea what's happening.
You were the official video bitch of the Nathan Gray Collective.
I don't know what you're talking about. What's new? What?
Right.
New stuff. Awesome.
The only thing I would add is just, again, just if anyone's interested in downloading Heathen Blood for free, please head to nathangraycollective.com, where you can also pre-order the whole album in either digital or physical format. And then we also have a tour coming up in Europe, which we're
That's amazing.
stressing
Yep.
out, getting
Stressing
prepared
out
for,
like
but
crazy for, right.
really excited to get started.
That starts in March, correct?
Really
April?
excited to get out there and fail.
April,
Yeah.
yeah. So guys, buy your tickets, please. If you're for the European fans, we are really looking forward to coming out and playing a lot of these new songs for the first time to you. Yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh man, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to do this again.
Without a doubt.
I talk to you. I'll talk to you, buddy. I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
No, thank you guys so much for doing this.
We'll talk.
Seriously. Oh, we'll talk. Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate this a lot.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, anytime.
Faith drives the dying need of conquest and destiny. Fear loves the company of corpses